Found out my buddy was going viral last week for cutting flock cameras down in Albuquerque. I'm replacing them with flags.
Good evening. It's an odd case in Rio Rancho where license plate reader cameras were destroyed, then replaced with a flag. Police say the man behind the crime cost the city thousands in damages. News 13's Bianca Hoops has that video.
A series of vandalized cameras have Rio Rancho police questioning who did it.
So that's where our ALPRs were, the license plate reader. And someone stole the reader and replaced it with this flag. We had the same thing happen yesterday off of Meadowlark. When did they do that?
So I called him up, and he told me he had a court case on Monday. I showed up, and because I did, I was able to capture, literally, what none of you were supposed to see.
And can you kind of comment on why you're here today?
So a guy named Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Thiel specifically owns a company that owns flock cameras.
I caught the media lying about him. One of the local news stations in Albuquerque aired this clip.
After a bizarre scene in court today, a judge says she will issue an arrest warrant for the man accused of vandalizing license plate readers in Rio Rancho, but he says he has no intention to stop his actions.
You have plans to continue to take down these flock cameras?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. They are a clear and present threat to public safety.
44-year-old Javon Martinez is facing larceny, property damage, and tampering with evidence charges after police say he destroyed 3 flock cameras, costing Rio Rancho thousands of dollars in damage. They say he replaced the cameras with the sign saying, "You're welcome, Republic of New Mexico." Martinez showed up to court today, but he refused to identify himself during the proceedings. The judge considered that as a failing to appear in court, but Martinez claims he exercised his right to remain silent.
No, I can't. You call me, but I am here. I'm right here. I stood up. I walked up there. She wanted my name, but I have a right to not bear testimony against myself. Giving my name consults as testimony, and so I just chose to remain silent.
The judge said she would issue an arrest warrant for Martinez for failure to appear. As of this afternoon, it has yet to be filed. After the hearing, Martinez filed affidavits from witnesses saying he did show up for the hearing.
But there's one problem. That was only a snippet. Here's what actually was said.
Can you kind of comment on why you're here today?
So a guy named Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Thiel specifically owns a company that owns flock cameras. Flock cameras are sold as license plate readers, but they do more than that. They completely track people 24/7. They know where you're driving. They're building databases. That's what the AI centers are for. So all these cameras can send data there to track us. Essentially, they're building us a prison with our own taxpayer dollars. That's what this is. That's what's happening. However, because it's owned by Epstein and Peter Thiel, that means cannibalistic, murdering rapists, pedophile, human traffickers, sex traffickers, child traffickers, people who steal people, have our cameras or have their cameras in our neighborhoods, watching our children go home, watching your families go home, and that is a clear and present threat to public danger, in my opinion, when known people like this are installing surveillance in my neighborhood. If I had a murdering cannibal move into my neighborhood and start putting cameras up in my neighborhood, and I tore them down, I guarantee you the police wouldn't care. So the question is, why are the police defending Jeffrey Epstein and his cameras?
And as far as I know, you had taken down the cameras and you had put a flag up.
Yes, I put this flag right here. So this is the flag of the peace flag, also known as the Republic flag in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of a company called the United States of America Incorporated, and to the Republic for which that flag stands. This is the land flag. That is the sea flag. This is the peace flag. That is the war flag. This is the Republic. That is democracy.
Awesome. And do you have plans? And you obviously don't have to comment. Do you have plans to continue to take down these flags?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. They are a clear and present threat to public safety. I just showed everybody today how to get out of these court cases. For those of you who don't know, you show up with a few friends. You don't have to say your name in court. You don't have to do anything. You just have to show up. You're ordered to appear in court. That's all you have to do is appear in court. So I had a few of my good fellow freedom fighters here with me. We showed up to court. They called my name. You simply stand up and say, "I am here regardless of this matter. I am here regardless of that." She says, "Well, can you identify yourself?" I'm like, "No, I can't." "You call me, but I am here. I'm right here. I stood up. I walked up there." She wanted my name, but but I have a right to not bear testimony against myself. My name consults his testimony. And so I just chose to remain silent. But I was there. I stepped up. I walked before the court. She then said, well, I'm going to say that you didn't show up today in my courtroom, which I knew she was going to do because I trapped her. She's easy to fool. All these gentlemen right here then followed me behind. We went outside right away and we wrote affidavits of truth. Here's a copy of them right here. I have 6 affidavits of truth. 4 affidavits of truth on my hand. All signed swearing that I showed up in court on the day before the date. They didn't call the case. That's on them. So just like that, the flock camera case is done. 19 years in prison, done. All these felony charges are done. I showed up. They didn't call the case. The case stops today. I'm free.
You kind of covered everything that I know, but is there anything that you would like to add that we haven't talked about?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, please be very clear. We have a clear and present threat in our city right now. Our government is not protecting us from these predators. The government is clearly, as I am bearing testimony to, they are protecting the predators from us. That means they have turned against us. When the government is are allowing Jeffrey Epstein human trafficking, sex trafficking cameras that are already being abused, already being grossly neglected. Plus, all of you guys know this, anyone can go to the back of these cameras. There's a fun little button you can press and you can download the data. So anybody has access to these cameras. And remember, the city doesn't own them. They're just leasing the service from them. So the city lost no money when I destroyed it, which is another thing the city claimed they did. They are renting the service. But here's the orders. In the name of the Republic of New Mexico, all oaths to the Constitution are invoked. All oaths to the Constitution are invoked. We have a clear and present threat, and your orders are to remove the flock camera threat as you see fit, immediately and without hesitation by any means necessary. You're also to protect our children from CPS and CYFD, as they are fronts for this company to take our children and put them into human trafficking. I repeat that again. In the name of the Republic of New Mexico, all oaths to the Constitution are hereby invoked. You are to take down this flock camera threat immediately because we are being enslaved. That's what the data centers are for. That's what the Easy Fiber is for. That's what the cameras are for. They're building you a prison right now, and they're taking our river to do it. You have to fight back now before it's too late. Do it by any means necessary. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you agree with Javon, share this message everywhere. If you plan on participating with anything dealing with flock, then let it be sharing this video. Also, if you're from Albuquerque, reach out to your local news station and ask them why they decided to not put out the full clip. Is it because they disagree with John Brown, who I'm assuming that majority of people would agree with? Why would they need to cut all that out? Who does cutting out all that serve? When it's my thought that the public would absolutely be interested in what he was saying and be responsive to. Let me hear your thoughts.
Man, don't you hear the name of a king? Long as my name in your mouth, it's making me think.